come all. Come everywhere and bring your scarf and shawl. I'm the little show promoter and I'm 3 feet tall. Come over there, come to the south. Come on your feet, come in my mouth. I'm a little show promoter and I'm 3 feet tall. I'm a little velvet man that lives in a tree. All I do is promote shows, all that I see. Please go to see Rob Schneider at the truck show. He was in Dukes of Hazzard, now he's nowhere to go. Because his car had a racist flag on it. I'm a little show promoter and I wear a bonnet. It was my mom's idea, she made me a baby. I wanna fuck her or kill her or maybe.
Harmontown is now in session! Please welcome to the stage the mayor of Harmontown, Mr. Dan Harmon!
Come there, come all. Come everywhere and bring your scarf and shawl.
Thank you.
That song was created by a fellow named Michael Hartigan. If you're out there, Michael, thank you very much for your beautiful service. Dan, you have an enormous thermos on stage right now. Please tell me that's not all vodka in there.
I have switched my cheat day to Sundays on my diet, and this is a pina colada that Aaron made me. It's I think it's a gallon. But she's really been feeding me today. I'm kind of in a food coma. I may puke onto the microphone and onto Anatoly.
So you just this week decided to switch to Sunday cheat day?
Yeah.
So last week when you ate the cheeseburger out of the Bloody Mary on stage, that was just comedy's sake, right? That was just entertainment.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, no, I stayed on the. Wait, what do you mean? Last week the show was on Sunday.
Oh right, so you switched it last week.
Jesus Christ, who cares?
So I want to lie to these people. Wait, what is that? Is there a logo on that thermos? That thing is enormous.
Yeah, I got to remember to bring this back to Aaron.
I enjoy a pina colada. A gallon seems a little over the top.
I don't want to waste my cheat day. But I may puke all over everyone. Because I got up this morning and at 6:45 a.m. and I used Postmates to order McDonald's breakfast.
Did you get up that early because you always wake up at that early, or because it's a cheat day and you want to start?
It's because I've been. You may have noticed I've never lost any weight ever. So you're probably wondering, is this diet work? Well, it can if you stick to it. I've never stuck to it. I've like cheat days turn into cheat weekends, turn into cheat weeks, and so I just basically am the same fatness that I always am. But I've last 3 weeks or so. I've been really committing to the diet, so this last period was particularly hard on me.
Now, the idea of the cheat day being that you fool your body back into a glycemic thing, and then you go off it. And your body
I think you're just keeping your body off rhythm. I never read the book that Aaron read it. I think it's basically like Atkins without dairy, but you're allowed to eat beans. So it's beans, meat, and veggies all week, and then 1 day a week, so that your body probably so your body doesn't go into ketosis or just adjust metabolically. You are supposed to spike your blood sugar and your blood sugar. You're supposed to spike your blood sugar. And you're supposed to eat like a birthday cake and just rub Big Macs on your balls and just wear a pizza for a hat. And I do. I really take it very seriously. And so I got the McDonald's, and I sat down and I played Witcher 3. And yep. And then at some point, Erin came home with some Del Taco, and I just didn't move, and I just kept eating in the room, slowly filled up with farts, and so she would slide stuff over to me, and then she made sliders and mac and cheese with Doritos sprinkled on them, and a big pina colada and a pineapple, and I said I should bring this to the show, and she made me a big pina colada. So if you're on the fence about getting married, it's fine. I said, Erin, what is this straw? What's this straw from? And she said, that is an unused. I said, stop, don't. If you have to say it's unused, you're not about to say a Mesa straw from the party store. It's probably an antifreeze.
That is a licensed pre-owned bull catheter. Are you going to make it?
But do you think the holes of bulls' penises are bigger than? Do you think?
Some woman in the audience went, no.
Well, I heard a guy going like, no. We are two different people.
I think they're probably a little bigger.
I mean, they got to be like a little. Well, what do I mean they got to be? I wonder if urethras are all the same diameter. Of course not.
No.
Of course not. A goldfish doesn't have. A mouse's urethra is thinner than mine, I hope. It's like a party straw. Mine's like a party straw. Mouse's is like a little baby party straw. And then, so I'm sure, like a whale's, you could probably put a ping pong ball down it. And it would probably have space around it. The ping pong ball. Witcher 3, probably not going to get any high marks on the feminist gamer report card. A lot of. I kind of got tit fatigue playing that game. There's a lot of titties in that game. A lot of strong women, I guess, but they're strong and they have their tits are everywhere. I'm truly bored with tits right now.
Are the guys semi-clad too, or naked?
I guess well, there's no. I mean, no. It's the same old. I think hypocritical thing. Like the protagonist is, I guess he's kind of a beefcake, but he's covered in scars and he's pale. And then everyone else is just a big fat guy, I think, or a dwarf. I'm not saying dwarves can't be attractive. Sorry, fellas, but it's a lot of D cups and a lot of acting like they're just normal. It's just normal for them to just be out, and it's I'm really enjoying it. It's it's one of those games where it has like relationship options. Like there's like different characters and you're sort of like while you're playing the game you have like these multiple kind of romantic roads you can go down. But there's this woman in the beginning of the game that you like, and then she's treating you like garbage, even though you clearly like her. So then it's kind of clear, like, oh, she must be like the female lead kind of thing. Like, I guess I'm supposed to have a will they, won't they with her, and I guess I'll meet up with her later. But then in the meantime, there was this redhead, and I was just like, "Will you marry me?" And so now the rest of the game, I'm like, the regular one is like keeps on. I don't know. It's kind of the game kind of fucks you over because it definitely gives you the option of totally full on monogamous commitment to this redheaded sorceress.
If the first woman that treats you cruelly were a redhead, would you be more into her?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's not my fault because this is it's a video game, so it's like the hair, like especially like it's like what else is there? Like it's like I don't know. And there's like I said, the first one I don't like the strident type. I don't go for that business. But it doesn't make my little wiener jump up when somebody's like, "You're a piece of shit." I'm not like, "Yeah." Yeah, I like a little equivalence.
Wasn't the redhead in the recent Jurassic Park kind of strident? Wasn't she kind of a tough nut?
Well, there's a difference between like withdrawn and like mean.
Oh, okay.
Because the mean thing seems dishonest if you're going to end up actually, coupling with someone. Like, well, then you didn't mean it when you said I was a poo-poo face, right? Because otherwise you're a poo-poo face fucker. So now I'm a liar fucker and a poo-poo face, but not a poo-poo face.
We know people that like being called a poo-poo face. That's what turns them on. Like,
Yeah, like Dino.
Dino
yeah,
likes being called a poo-poo face.
Yeah.
He likes poo-poo on his face.
Yeah. I'm not me not so much. I don't like I get mad when people humiliate me.
Even in the video game realm?
Well, yeah.
Even as part of the program of that game?
Yeah, well, I'm especially anyway. So that's the thing. So this game really sets you up to. I'm in the midst of this right now. I almost want to stop playing the game because I am kind of immersed in it. The first girl, it wasn't working. I decided it was like, well, she decided. She said, like, I don't, she's like cold shouldering me. I kept for the first couple levels. I'm like, hey, what do you think of me? And she's like, oh, I'm British and I have black hair, so I'm like that archetype, and I'm gone. And then this redhead sorceress, and she's nurturing, and she cares about the other mages, and I helped her do this whole like Harriet Tubman Underground Mage Railroad story where we got the mages out of the city before the horrible anti-mage Hitler was going to kill them all, and it's like that turns me on.
Yeah, but that sounds to me like that you're supposed to fall in love with her and not the black-haired British lady from the beginning.
Wait, sorry, what?
That sounds like they're setting you up to love her.
They set me up. They yes, because it's obviously available in the program because I did. I was like, I kissed her. I could have not kissed her, and then I chose to kiss her, and then because she looks like my wife, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to choose her because I see this as one of these multiple choose your romance games. So this is good that they let me not choose this strident, British cold applesauce person. That's like, I'm a raven-haired heartbreaker. I'm so mean to you, like your mommy. I'm not. Thank you for not making me do that. I like this nurturing type.
Are there other options? Or is there a third woman?
Well, I'm not. I feel like I'm like a quarter through the game and I'm already fucked because I like the redhead. I was like, well, don't. It was okay. We did the adventure and then there was an option that said, please don't go, and I was like, please don't go. And then there was an option that said, I love you, and I was like, I love you. And then she's like, okay, I'll stay. And I'm like, okay, great. And then we had sex on in a lighthouse, and then.
Are you typing things in, or is this these?
No, I'm not typing.
Are these options that come up on the screen?
These are like story options you're choosing based on like 3 dialogue decisions.
So now you're married to this redhead in the video.
I didn't marry her, but I might as well have. I made love in this.
What level of intimacy do they show you while you're making?
It's really weird.
Do they cut to a train going into a tunnel and a rocket?
They don't. They show you both naked. Then they show like her naked butt, and then they show my hand slide over her butt. But then they cut to just a wall, and there wasn't even like a shadow of humping or anything. But it was like they already showed like boobs and butts, and like it's not for kids. This game, like they say the C word in it, and the F word all the time. Fuck is the F word. Anyway. So I made love to redhead
on a lighthouse. In a lighthouse.
In a lighthouse.
Not on a lighthouse. That's dangerous.
In it.
Yeah, they're kind of pointy on top.
So then she goes like, so I guess, and then we had the conversation of like, oh, so I guess we're gonna be together forever. Yeah, but I gotta finish this video game though. Like I was like, I gotta finish the next 85% of the game
without her.
Right, because it's not like the game is so sophisticated that now she's just hanging out, going like, we're in love too. Yeah. So I just said I love you to see her butt, and then she leaves the game. And now I'm in the part of the game. Well, now that I have to go be with the brunette, but the game is making my character keep flirting with the brunette. It's not a choice. He keeps saying stuff like, "Oh, you smell good," and I'm like, "No, I didn't say that. I'm from Wisconsin. I wouldn't pull this shit. This is the kind of guy I hate." And they're making me, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Is the game supposed to...
There should be an option, or maybe there shouldn't, but to go back to the redhead woman and say, look, I know that there's probably 80% more video game out there, but I'd rather hit game over with you.
It's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. I kind of wish honestly, I would push the brunette off a cliff if it was an option. Well, because she won't. Because I would say, I'm sorry. You
smell nice.
The game keeps making me act like I want to fuck you, but I don't want to, so I'm gonna murder you. And she's like, you're mentally ill, because she doesn't know it's a video game. So,
can you come on too hard where she hates you, like a Jack Tripper or Three's Company episode, or
I'm not gonna try that. There are options where it says like you can lay it on even thicker, and I'm just choosing the neutral. Just like all business, you know? Right. And I can't wait for her to ask what's going on. I'm going to be like, I am a married man. I made love in a lighthouse. And I just want the rest of the game to just be about killing werewolves.
Do you think the game is designed for people to, like, the first girl I meet, I'm going to date her. She's like the evil part of my mother. You're like, she's hard to please. I'm going to date this British lady, like a schoolmarm. And then you realize, she sucks. And then later on, you're supposed to meet the redhead.
It's definitely it's laid out that way. It's pretty ingenious. Like it's very for a video game. If it was a movie, you'd be like, well, this isn't very smart. But for a video game, it's pretty sophisticated like stuff. The game Dragon Age Origins had some stuff like that. I thought was pretty. That's pretty fun. I'm old. I'm playing video games. I like that some of them have like a more nuanced story component to them. But the danger of that is that now now it's like the game is about anxiety. I can't escape life. I'm like in a worse life. It's like a terrible. I'm like living a lie in the video game. In the real life, I have a beautiful woman bringing me cheeseburgers, and you're
hanging out with a poo-poo face lady.
Triss Marigold. That's the sorceress.
Wow, you said that with such wistful. Wasn't Tess Marigold?
Triss.
Triss.
Yeah, she's Triss. But
Triss.
All right. So, anyways, you forgot to bring Spencer up.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I got mesmerized with the Ty Brixton song. Spencer Crittenden, everybody! Sorry,
Come over there, come to the south, come on your feet, come in my mouth.
Sorry, Spencer. I was remiss. I'm very sorry.
Don't even trip. This is a great song, man. It's a lot better than me. No, not like that. I mean, it's really that good of a song. I've literally just been driving around, and I'll be like, I'm singing. I'm like, come over here. It's so good. Hey guys,
how far down that gallon of that opaque jug of pina colada do you think you are?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Hey, lick off the whole straw and do like the dipstick test. That's a dear. That is a bull catheter. Shit. That is some viscous shit.
It's really good. I have a perfect wife. I have the perfect wife. She's not here tonight.
What is she up to? Is she fatigued from cooking for you all day?
She's got to make. It's our friend Kimber's birthday tomorrow, I think.
Oh yeah.
So she's making some stuff. I think I should switch cheat day back to Saturday. I think this is not good for performance. Because I feel sluggish, and I'm also like the summer heat, and I'm under these lights, so I just look like Jabba the Hutt. Like I should just go back.
How is that a proper pina colada? Like in terms of?
Oh yeah, this is pretty standard.
Like booze to mixer ratio.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it's boozy.
It's pretty boozy.
Damn, that's a lot of booze, Jackson.
Try
I'll try a sip. I'm so afraid. I gotta try it. Got a long way to go.
Well, what's in a pina colada? I'm not good at alcohol.
It's rum,
coconut
milk, pineapple, and something else.
Shit.
You like booze and milk?
Yeah.
Try it, Spencer. Come on.
No, I'm good.
Take a bite off of that sandwich, man. Come on.
Do you guys remember the Darwin Awards? There's a guy who won a Darwin Award for trying to make alcohol by mixing beer. If he started with beer, that'd be good. No, he was mixing milk with just car gasoline. Because that's how booze is made.
And he died from drinking it?
Yeah.
He drank so much that he died?
I mean, I don't know how much you'd have to drink, but yeah.
Do you remember? It might be apocryphal, but when I was in college, do you remember the story of the guy that died? He was doing a headstand and he put a bottle of Jack Daniels in his butt, and he let the booze drain into his butt. And he just died.
Yeah, I don't think that was an urban legend. I think that really happened to a guy. Yeah.
That's some serious butt chugging. That's what they call that.
That's not some Saturday morning brunch butt chugging.
This isn't your grandmother's butt chug.
That's not like a casual mimosa being
butt chug
poured down your anal cavity at 45-degree angles by a group of well-meaning friends before going to see a Marvel movie. This is hardcore butt chugging.
I would butt chug a little bit of that pina colada. That was delicious.
Oh, that'd be cold.
You want cold, though. I mean, more than you wouldn't want hot.
How come putting stuff in your butt makes it go into your blood faster than putting it in your mouth?
I think there's a more closer capillary network to the edge of the skin, probably, right?
But that doesn't... okay.
It's not like your skin is like protective tissue. It's designed to prevent absorption, but your like inner insides are not. So I think that things can just pass into your blood easier.
But why wouldn't they save that apparatus for up here? Is the answer because you don't want that much to get through up here? I think that's the answer.
Yeah,
but then again, what's down there is poop.
Yeah, but that's your intestines,
I think
right?
the idea throughout your entire digestive tract, your body is trying to reabsorb anything that's valuable all the way until the last drop.
Yeah, so that's the last resort. That's the ultimate filter back there because that's the last shot you got, man.
Elephants, you know how everybody goes to the zoo and they see an elephant eat grass out of another elephant's asshole?
Oh, yeah.
And they always think they saw the craziest thing in the world, but this is, like, elephant shit is basically just grass. Like, you could eat it, it'd be great. Because they just, like, animals that digest cellulose, which we cannot do, if we ate a handful of grass, our stomach would be like, why are you doing that? That might as well be just a house or something. And I'm not a termite. But deer and rabbits and elephants, certain mammals have, like, the enzymes that they can break down cellulose so they can eat grass. Whatever that is, basically, but they pass so much of it through. Like, it's such an inefficient engine that their poop is, like, practically edible.
They're the original butt chuggers.
They're the opposite of butt chuggers. They're
butt munchers.
That's right.
They're butt munchers.
They're butt munchers.
They're buffet butts. They're
the elephant that's eating the poo out the first elephant. He's a butt muncher.
He's a butt muncher. Yeah.
Oh. We got that settled.
All right,
we're getting a lot done tonight.
It's a low energy show. I got a lot of food in my stomach, but we're getting some stuff done.
Dorito mac and cheese.
Yeah,
that's just mac and cheese with Dorito sprinkled.
I mean, you're gonna make me puke. Oh, another thing about Witcher 3.
Not the gallon of pina colada. I'm gonna make you puke. Go ahead.
Witcher 3 is like, and I don't think I didn't mean to. I wasn't decrying it as a sexist game or anything. I just think that in the last 5 years, with the world changing under our feet, I don't have a horse in that race, so I'm just going like, oh, those are neat tits. But and I think that it's a very enjoyable game for everybody. I just think in that one particular area, it's sort of like it's just sort of funny because it's like takes place in this fantasy world, and it's just like literally everybody. It's just like the equivalent of a receptionist will just come up and go, "Can I help you?" And her shirt will just be just unbuttoned to her navel for no reason. It was just boobs in your face.
Is Trish Marigold putting it out there too, or is she?
She was one of the more tasteful ones, I would say. She wore pants, and she, you could see that she had boobs, but I don't think I think it was an accident. I was more taken with her magic, and her politics. Anyways, I just wanted to say one more thing about Witcher 3. They have strumpets in the game. Can we bring the word strumpets back? That's adorable. I mean, you can't ask men to not be sexist overnight, but we could maybe if we brought back a word like strumpets. At least we could make us a little more adorable while we're being misogynist. You imagine the guy that invented the word strumpet in like a fit of misogyny? He must have been so bummed out when it came out of his mouth. He's like, "You fucking strumpet!" And then the woman is like, I'll take it. That's adorable. And he's like, God damn it. Strumpet. It sounds like it sounds like trumpet and crumpet.
You got no arguments for me on that one.
I picked... Let's do a new segment called Boring News.
Boring news?
So far, we have not been doing that. Yo. What's happening?
That was a boring rap.
I like that beat. Can you do that?
You want to bring it back?
Let's do a little.
Spencer, this is Kevin MacLeod. Spencer sent this to me.
I found this one.
Oh,
all right,
like
you're from the tippy top.
Yo, slow rapping. Yo, scary neighborhood. Yo, driving down a spooky street. Yo, Halloween, look at all the costumes. Trick or treat, motherfucker. That girl's dressed like a pumpkin. I hope she gets a lot of candy. Roll down the window, look at my okay, fuck that. I cannot work like this.
I think, yeah. I only listened to the first 8 bars of that one, Spencer. Sorry, that's a corrupt file.
Yeah, is that a bad... Sorry, man.
That was the one off of the YouTube. I clicked the link. It downloaded right to the thing.
I use that YouTube link all the time, so I don't know.
Everybody,
Sorry,
everybody get your shit together.
This is
All right.
not what the people pay us for.
All right, so this is... Can we... Okay, one more time. This is boring...
I can play it off the YouTube that he sent me.
Boring news
No, I
segment.
can't, actually.
Boring news segment.
Boring news segment.
Are we going to do this theme again?
You want the same one?
Yeah.
The wonky one that we just did?
Yeah.
All right.
Yo. What's happening? Ain't always entertaining. Sometimes it's boring. Nothing much happened. Boring news. Okay. We got a new saltwater aquarium installed in our home. And
go on.
These, in order, are my 10 picks for our fish.
Wait, no. Dan, I'm going to stop you there. This is called boring news.
Yeah. My top pick is the blue-spotted jawfish. Look it up. You'll see why.
Well, tell me why, because I don't have the option.
It's like a little snake guy, and he can make a little hole in the sand and like act like a snake sometimes.
All right. How large are these fish we're talking? How big is the aquarium? Is it a giant one or a small one?
I don't know. It's aquarium size. I don't know. Somewhere between 50 and 1,000 gallons.
It's a decent size one. It's not. You wouldn't call it big, but it's certainly good sized.
All right.
We'll get extra little fish. Number 2, the yellow watchman goby. Nothing really to say about him. I can't remember anything about him. Number 3, the court jester goby. Ooh.
Why is he playing second fiddle to the other goby?
I don't know. I can't remember. Number 4, the lawnmower blenny. Ooh. I think I remember him. He scoots along the dirt. Number 5, Jeff, you're going to like this one. The blue tang.
Yeah. Some of that Smurf pussy.
Number 6, the hell freaky dartfish.
They're making these up. These aren't real fish.
That one I got just
You went to a
because
fake fish
it
site.
reminded me of the Diane Antwoord song. I think hell freaky and I like you a lot. Number 7, I can't remember the name, but Aaron and I called it the pajama Buscemi cardinal fish. Because it reminded us of Steve Buscemi. Number 8, the royal grandma. I know, typical. Number 9, the Bangai cardinal. Number 10, the Bartlett Antheus. I mean, that's one. That one can go fuck itself. It's number 10.
Now, Dan, give me the 30 fish that didn't make the cut.
I don't know. There's a bunch of blennies and grandmas that don't make it. You know,
are you going to combine these fish? You're going to pick one sort of fish, or what are you?
Well, we'll defer to our aquarium guy who, you know, he'll go, oh, a blenny will eat a goby.
Have you ever? You've been with me to Damon's in Glendale, right? That tiki place, the bar with they had to make the chi-chis and the Mai Tais.
They got some aquariums in there.
Yeah, they have a bunch of aquariums, and I'm not a big aquarium fan. I grew up with fishing aquariums. I liked them as a kid, but there was one fish that takes dirt and sucks it up in his mouth, and he goes and makes little towers over here, and he makes a little building of dirt over here or gravel.
That's one of these guys.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
And then that might be the blue snaky guy, and then he sucks it up, and then he gets bored with that shit and starts making one over there.
Yeah.
And the other fish are just swimming around looking at you. They're doing nothing. This guy's working for a living.
Saltwater tanks are very meticulous. You know, they're hard to maintain. So we got. You know, they're taking it step by step. They got to put living rock in it. Then they put some coral in it later. But first, they brought in 3 starter fish.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it.
That sounds like a shitty gig. What do they have to do? They start the water off?
Yeah, well, Dino and I spent like 45 minutes like disagreeing on what the Pixar movie would be, like about starter fish. Because Dino's, I wish he was here to like defend his movie, but I was like, you don't get it. You just don't get it. Because he was like, he was obsessed with this idea that it would be the story of a starter fish's relationship with the little girl who got the aquarium, but her parents kept telling her, don't get attached to him, he's just a starter fish. Like, he's gonna die. And I was like, dude, your narrative's all over the fucking place. And he's like, you said like Toy Story. I said, yeah, exactly. Andy's a fucking meteorological phenomenon. He's moving. He likes this toy. He doesn't like that toy. The toys are the ones with the fucking complicated relationships. Right. You can't bounce back and forth in and out of the tank. There's the grown-ups talking to a kid and going like, don't get attached to her. What the fuck is he talking about?
What's your opening?
I'm glad you asked. Obviously, I mean, I don't even know that you have a choice in this matter. If it's a movie called Starterfish, it's like, hey, we're starterfish. We're like the blue-collar fish, you know? We go into the tank, and we can handle hardier water, and we get things started, and we know that we do a good job when the big bright fish come in, who are more sensitive and delicate, and who cost more money, and they're the reason that people get the tank. I'm sorry, I spit all over you.
Hit pause for a second. So the starterfish's job is to what? Like get the...
They're just in there because they're cheap, and if they die, it's not as big a deal.
You're making sure you got the levels of the thing.
Yeah.
And the stuff and
but they actually set the levels themselves.
Yeah,
it's like they shit, and then like bacteria and stuff can grow in the carbon and the living material they put out, and that actually puts bacteria in the water that, you know, then that bacteria eats and puts air into the water, and they can breathe.
They jumpstart the biosphere.
They should call them martyr fish.
Anyways, my story...
That's the name of your movie, Martyr Fish.
Well, I think someone could throw that out at one point. Go, why don't they call you Martyr Fish? You know, maybe that could be like a thing in Act 1. I guess
it's in the trailer for sure.
My movie's about the little starter fish that decides he wants to be the center of attention. He's not a starter fish. He's going to be the most important fish in the tank. And then everyone's like, look at that fish, and all the, it's, you know, you don't set the story outside the aquarium. You have all the other fish are like, what the fuck are you doing, starter fish?
So the other fish are saying, look, don't get too big for your boots. You know where we're going. We're going right down the toilet.
See, I don't know. You and Dino were obsessed with this lifespan thing. Like, that's the thing. I don't. It's not.
Well, I'm saying, wouldn't there be threshold guardian starterfish, or they would all like go get him? Like.
No. I think yes, of course he would have his family would be like, don't, Mickey, don't. You're a starterfish. Now I don't know why. I gotta finish writing the movie, but I don't know what's at stake for anybody. Because they're in a tank, so I don't know. Maybe there's a fish contest at the end of the movie. I don't know. Well, I'll work on it later.
Yeah, how does he go from being a starterfish to making the cut for these flashier pajama buscemi's and stuff like that when they come in?
Well, I don't know. Maybe okay. I'm just riffing this. Okay, right. Bad pitch. Okay. Tommy the starterfish comes in and they go like, kid, you're a starterfish. Do you know the code of starterfish? No, I don't. Tell me. Really, you're telling the audience. You tell them, it's a starterfish. This is our code of ethics. Okay. Starterfish. Okay, here come all the fucked up fish, or the non-fucked up fish. And then okay, so it's a love story. He falls for a girl, You know what? Maybe it needs to take place in the aquarium store in order for it to work. Because then there's that whole adoption thing. Where are you going to go? That's what it has to be.
All right.
It's like, oh, he falls in love with a Tetra or a blue Tang, probably. And then, or just wants to be friends. It doesn't have to be falls in love, because some people might go, they can't reproduce. Are they gonna? And you're like, why do you want to think about these fish fucking? But then he's like, I want to go with her, so I'm gonna go. So he's just in a tank full of starter fish. So then what do you do when you're just a kid born off Broadway, but you got big dreams? So he starts flashing around.
Right.
It's like a subtle. If you do it right, it could be like a subtle, like commentary for drag queens. Like he decides, like, I want to be flashy, and the people are like, you're weird. Stop it. That's not in your nature. You're a starter fish. And he's like, so what? That's what I was born. I don't care. I want to be a different kind of fish and get scooped out of here, and I'm gonna go beyond the metaphor for whatever, RuPaul's show, which is going into some little girl's tank in her bedroom.
What's the bottoming out of that?
What's the Randy Newman theme song?
That's that. I guess so, because
I got a thing for you. No, his terrible songs where he's just talking.
Yes.
Oh, swimming water, swimming friend. It's not a song just because there's a piano in the background.
Yeah.
All right, so next week we're not here because we're doing the Rick and Morty premiere party. It premieres on Sunday, so
apparently I've been asked to host the streaming of the thing.
Yeah, you're helping us out there at the party.
I should probably get to see the episodes before that happens, right? So I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. It could be a disaster. Because you'd be like, what are you going to see? I don't even know what you're going to be doing.
Me neither.
Then the week after that, it gets more confusing. We're going to be in New York. Right? Is that right?
We are, I believe, yes.
That show's already sold out because it's in a teeny little theater. Not that you guys were going to fly to New York to see us, but for those of you listening to New York. And then we're back here and we're rolling like James Brolin. Do you think? Is there anybody here that's lactose intolerant? There's got to be.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple yes or no questions. Do you fart a lot when you?
Yes.
Okay. Does it hurt? Okay. So it's just like if you just had like a cheeseburger. So is it possible that I could have been lactose intolerant my whole life and I'm just now noticing because I fart so much? What did you say?
You shart yourself a lot.
Shart yourself? What are you British?
You do poop your pants a lot.
Well, yeah, but that's alcoholism. That's.
I'm a drunk too. I don't poop my pants ever.
Well, it could be a combination. Like if I'm drunk and eating a lot of dairy, then I'm like farting so much and my inhibitions and judgment are lowered. So then I'm like, here comes a great fart, and like I don't realize.
Now, have you ever pooped your pants sober? Let's figure this out.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I have because I remember in Comedy Sports. I remember at the Marriott Hotel. I went
in
up
Milwaukee?
to I remember very distinctly because like Dick Chudnow, the founder of Comedy Sports, was like setting up the stage, and he said something like, "I wonder if we should play this game or that game tonight or whatever." And I said, "Well, Dick," I felt like a fart coming, and I said, "Well, a real crowd pleaser is if we." And I just shit in my pants there was no sound. It was just. And I just walked away and like had to throw my pants and my underwear in the garbage. I was like, I had no pants. Like I had to borrow someone else's pants, and they knew. It's not like I took a shower. It's like so they knew that they then were gonna have to throw their pants away too.
Did they know what happened? Or they just
everyone knew. There was no way I was gonna like. I'm not gonna let that be a secret. Then that's just more humiliation. Like. As soon as that shit starts, I'm going to ground zero. Wait, DEFCON, whatever. I'm not gonna let somebody go. Dan shit his pants.
I was on stage in LA with a guy, one of the dudes in our show, who was the referee. Right before instead of intermission, it's called halftime, and all of a sudden it smelled like somebody shit their pants. And certainly enough, our referee had just completely filled his pants, and so he came back out at halftime. For the second act, and he, instead of having black trousers on like he'd had to start the thing, now he had like navy blue or royal blue sweatpants, but no underwear on, so you could see his little wiener like poking through there. And it was mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Whenever he talk over here, his wiener would go over here, and he talk over there, and his wiener go there.
I know who that guy is.
I wanted to mention his name so bad.
There was this kid named Noah in my grade school. Noah. I can't remember his last name, or boy, I'd tell you. But I remember his first name was Noah, and he was, by his own account, he was allergic to cheese. So I think we just didn't know it was called lactose intolerance back then. But he said, I'm allergic to cheese. And we go, what do you mean? Like you sneeze when you eat it? And he's like, no, I shit my pants. But then it was like, it was the 80s and it was a public school, so he would take $1 to eat cheese. People would give him $1 and he'd go like, really, $1? Like he had some witticism like poop's temporary, money's forever, or what? I
wish that were true, Dan.
Like my pants will be clean tomorrow. Yeah, but it's gonna cost $1 to wash them.
Yes, tomorrow, madam, my pants will be clean, but I shall be rich.
And I remember he would shit. I remember one time he shit his pants in the cafeteria.
What age are we talking? I'm sorry.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't him. I mean, Noah would shit his pants all the time, but but he did it on purpose, and then I think he'd just go home, and I think he would just whistle the theme from the Andy Griffith Show, and just it's like I guess he was the kid that was nailing it, right? It's like I shit my pants when I eat cheese. I'll give you $1 to do that. Okay, goodbye, school. Hello, dollar.
It's like, I have to go do two things. I have to go do some laundry and go to the bank.
I mean, so, but there was this kid. I can't remember his name, but
I wish you could, because the names of your friends from school are hilarious.
I want to say his. I do remember his name. I remember his full name. His first name was Henry. I want to say his last name because it's adorable, but it's alliterative. He was an adorable, very quiet kid, and he shit his pants. And for some reason, this is what's really weird. This would have been first grade, not kindergarten. Because in kindergarten, I told you the story of how I in kindergarten, you don't even know where you're going. They used to take me to that special room when I was in kindergarten because I knew how to read, and they left me in this room, and I didn't know how to read the clock. So
Has he told the story before?
I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, I know when the bell rings, I get to go to the bathroom, but I don't know what time it is, and I don't know when the bell's going to ring, and I had to pee, and I just peed in the chair. I just in the middle of this walk-in closet surrounded by textbooks, and I just went. And it's just this big, and right in the middle of it, it was like ring the bell, and I was just like, and it just kept going, and then I just got up and took a look back, and there's this big ocean of pee, and I just hit the lights and left, and I just pissed all down my pants, and went and got in the lunch line thinking oh yeah, no one will notice. It's like, you look like you were riding a painted horse that hadn't dried yet. Of course people are going to notice. But and the guy who really pointed out, my brother, who was in 6th grade at the time, was like, did you piss your pants? And the whole school was like, you pissed your pants. Anyways, when I was in 1st grade,
Did you cry? Was that horrible?
I think that was so weird that I don't think I cried. I think I've cried it less, but
Did you realize you could have been making money on this the whole time? You could have been peeing your pants for $1 a pop.
So this kid Henry, so Miss Piana comes up to me at lunch, first grade, and she goes, she's got Henry, she's holding his hand, and she goes, Daniel, will you take Henry to the bathroom? He had an accident.
What?
Now, I never shit my pants in school, as far as I know, so I don't know why I'm an expert. Like, send him with Noah, Noah will show him the ropes. Maybe that's what she was worried about.
We don't need another poop tycoon in our school.
I think it was because I was smart. I was the smart kid. I was supposed to handle. It was like I could be like
or that you dealt with the trauma of peeing yourself so well that you thought I can take it.
Yeah, and I went. Yeah, I remember going into the coat room where the bathrooms were, and he just went into a stall, and I was just kind of like. I have such a clear memory of that. Like I was just hanging out by the winter coats, just going, let's like trying to talk him through it, like an old war buddy or something. I was like, I poop my pants all the time. Okay. Oh man, it's everywhere. It's all right. It's okay, man. Just clean it up. I don't know what I was supposed to do, and
that's so weird.
Yeah. It's a positive memory for me, though, because I felt like I did it right, but I'm sure I didn't. I don't know. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to, like, help him. That would be crazy if the teacher wanted me to, like, help.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't have wanted that.
Yeah, how would she have judged the success of that task? What was she hoping would happen? I mean, wouldn't, like, usually you go to, like, the nurse or they call a parent or something, right? I guess this was in the past.
Yeah, it was. This was, like, in dinosaur times, and there were probably just as many pedophiles and kidnappings, but there was no internet yet, so it was just sort of like, well, as long as he's with someone, we can't just send him off into the world. We'll send him with 2 kids, so they'll be harder to kidnap.
We had beatings in my elementary school. Like you got corporal punishment. Like there was hard spankings at our school.
I don't think we ever. We
That's hilarious.
For our birthdays, there were. we got paddled for our birthdays.
You could hear kids getting spanked if someone did something bad. I feel like I've told the story before, but there was a ping pong paddle supposedly, and they really whacked the crap out of you. Not quite, but you could hear it from outside the building, and so you'd be in there. It was like a scene from some World War II, like prisoner movie, and you could hear the kids screaming. You wham! Ah! It's the fucking worst. And then supposedly the legend was there was one kid that was so badass he clenched up his butt cheeks and broke the ping pong paddle. The kid was famous, whether or not that ever happened. But he was Paul Bunyan.
Because his ass was so muscular.
He just fought it so hard. He's like, he destroyed a ping pong paddle.
Well, my mom would hit us with a wooden spoon, and every once in a while the wooden spoon would break.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there was stress cracks. Yeah. There was fatigue.
I hate that kid got credit for.
Oh,
because it's like if you just hit a rock with a ping pong paddle, it's not going to break. It's not like because it's so hard.
Yeah.
Like someone else's ass wore that thing out for him.
Yeah, where's their credit?
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody got.
They call those starter butts.
Like. That's that. I'm trying to remember if maybe before, because my brother was 5 years ahead of me, so like any stories about, I hear stories about teachers throwing erasers and throwing chalk and throwing tantrums and stuff. Like and there were teachers who would have like nervous breakdowns, but then they would disappear, because they did something physical.
That locked, like if you made her mad, she was kind of like on and off medication, and if she was off her medication, she would just lock kids in a cabinet. And like that was the punishment. And then she got fired for that. Of course, we found out about that. But sometimes she would go like, "Mr. Davis, get out of here! Like you've disrupted the class too many times. You go run around the school." Now our school was enormous. Like it would take you the rest of the day. So I just went to my car and went home. Then we found that out. So we would just try to piss her off, and she would go take a lap, and then we would just go to like Wiener Schnitzel. I almost died at a Der Wiener Schnitzel at lunch, by the way. The guy was taking a bite of a corn dog, and my friend John, while I was taking a bite of his corn dog, he just thought it'd be funny if he gave me more than I wanted, and he shoved the entire corn dog down my mouth. But before I knew it was happening, I had bitten the corn dog off. Now I've got an entire corn dog in my throat, and it's not going to come back out. There's no way to get a handle on the corn dog with your mouth, and I'm just going, I'm dying here. And then everybody looked at me and realized that I was dying, and everybody froze. And so then one big strong friend of mine we called Bam Bam, he just came up and picked me upside down, shook me by my ankle.
Oh, really?
But I digress.
Do you know?
I do remember thinking in that moment of crisis when I thought, okay, I can't breathe. It's been a while now. I need to start breathing soon. There's nothing I can do to help this thing out. It will not go down. It's not going to come out. And I remember thinking, not like this.
Oh man. Well, did you notice so everybody in this room probably has had like a choking incident where you actually you kind of it triggers this very specific response in your brain, like you feel like this could be it, and it takes very little for that to get triggered because you're like, oh my god, I didn't realize how accustomed I am to breathing whenever I want. It's like what. And it's weird how, number one, how everyone around you kind of freezes, and I've been that guy. Dino and I were eating at Little Dom's with our newly hired CFO at the time. It was just having dinner with him to talk about how excited we were for him to be turning the company around, our animation studio. And he's like, yeah, and it's going to be great. And he's eating this, hanger steak, and he's just like, yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to get some health plans for the staffers. And I'm like, yeah, and morale could be higher over at the animation thing, and we could got to fix that air conditioning. He's like, yeah, I really want to. And Dino and I are kind of like, it's weird. Like I don't know, and
you're supposed to overreact to possible choking.
The bartender did. Like he was coming around soon enough that before Dino and I started to do the right thing, he was already over there. Plus, on top of it, by the time anybody got close to him, it just came out onto the floor, and he picked it up with a napkin and continued the conversation. But we were all sort of like, oh, we can never unlive that experience. Like I just might have just watched a guy die, I guess. I don't know what I would have done and when I would have done it. And the other weird thing is that on the choking side, the instinct very often is to hide. Like people die because they start to choke and then they go to the bathroom because they're embarrassed. I've been in that situation. It is weird how much shame gets triggered because you're choking, and I guess because you feel like a pig or something. Like you just feel. You feel like, well, what's inside your body shouldn't be anyone's business or something, and so you just you kind of want to go hide somewhere until it's over, which could kill you. For me, sure.
I thought I'll handle this. Let me get this corn dog out of my mouth. And at some point, I'm dying and I need somebody else's help here. By that time, I kept waving everybody off. I think so. Everybody was in stasis the whole time.
Yeah. In the 70s they had that whole Heimlich awareness campaign. Yeah. I guess it must have just been terrible. It must have happened all the time. People just eating in a restaurant, and then they just turn blue, and everyone's just going, "Oh no, Harold!" And then just watch them die.
I always thought that would be if I don't have tattoos and I don't want any, but CPR diagram and Heimlich maneuver diagram. So if you're choking, just rip open your shirt and
the trick. There's a trick for the CPR because you do chest compressions, right? But you got to do it like a special rhythm. The rhythm is the beat of the song "Staying Alive," the disco song.
So when do you compress? You go pump.
You go
pump.
ha, staying alive, staying alive.
Oh, you don't stop for the thing.
To the beat. Ha, staying alive.
You just keep pumping.
But couldn't that also be "I wanna fuck you like an animal"? I wanna
just hear those sleigh bells. I guess that they picked one that says "staying alive." It's also a morale booster.
Yeah. I think it makes people excited to know something.
It made me excited.
We are the world. We are the children. Just pump their chest, and if it helps, pretend it's a song.
What's
Fuck the police coming down from the underground.
Will you know my name if I see you in heaven?
Oh no, not the Eric Clapton.
It's also too slow a tempo. It's too slow.
All right, well, back to this farting thing. So I'm lactose intolerant for sure, I think, because it's like when I'm eating beans and stuff, I fart like regular people that eat beans. Like it's a musical fruit, as you know, but it's like predictable amount of bean farting. But then if I have like a pint of ice cream or some dairy, like I'm capable of generating so much. There must just be some incredible like thing happening.
Have you tried cutting out all dairy just to see if that goes away?
Well, I effectively have with this. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. It took me 42 years to accidentally have that experiment. I never tried it.
But today you had a load of dairy, right? Like, so are you?
Yeah, I don't. What?
I'm saying, like, so today you're farting because of that, and
yes.
but when you cut it out, that stops.
Yes. So for the rest of the week, it's not there. But then it's like, and then I have like some ice cream or a pina colada or something, and then it's like holy jamoli! Like I feel like I could fill a hot air balloon. And there might be a way to like tap it for like global energy. It just seems like an amazing thing that a human being can generate so much.
We could at least have our own hot air balloon.
Yeah.
My friend Sam, he was my neighbor. He had this lovely family. They were a very like cohesive nuclear family, and they all had the family joke was cherries made them all fart like mad. So they would all you go to their house and they would put out a bowl of cherries and they all start laughing. So I was eating cherries and they're laughing, and then mom, dad, like old people, young people, everyone's just farting cherries.
I don't like that story.
Yeah. So yeah,
and I don't know why.
Their pastime is to invite guests over and just fart all over the place.
I guess because it's a family. I guess that's what I don't like about it. Yeah. I don't like that. It's
you resent that the family bonded over anything like that?
It's like the hills have eyes, kind of.
Yeah, except they don't, because if the hills had eyes, some of those eyes would lend to self-awareness. The hills, if the hills had enough eyes, the hills could see themselves for what they were, and that family can't.
Oh, so you weren't upset about family farting? That resonated for you of a close, cohesive family.
I don't think I'm jealous of the cherry farter family. I don't like them. I think they're too close. I don't like that. Why are they doing that together? Tell me more about them.
What did they do with bananas?
Did they shower together?
They were this. It's the Smotherman family, and I went to high school.
The Smotherman family.
Smotherman. When I moved back from when I was on the play on Broadway when I was 10 and 11, and then I came back to LA
9/11.
for the first time. 9/11.
Okay. All right. Good. That was good. That's a healthier response to 9/11.
My first day back, I moved back to Whittier, which I'd never lived it, but my grandmother lived there. When I was a little kid, we had a big house with horses and stuff, and then gradually my family lost all of our money, and then I went on the road with my mom, and then my dad was back home. I think they would have gotten divorced. We came back, and we lived in this really small house with this shitty car, and I didn't know anybody. We moved into this. It's not a great neighborhood. It wasn't like living in a horrible Detroit or something like some terrible gunfire going off all night long. But it was I lived in a really nice, hilly, beautiful childhood. And now I didn't know anybody, and I remember laying on my parents' bed in this new little house, and all I could hear was a plane going overhead. And when you fly into LAX, if you're coming back into LA, and when you hear the flaps go down, if you look out the window, you can see my high school. That's the sound you can hear from the ground of the planes decelerating. And I started crying because it was the only noise I heard. And I just lived in New York for about a year, where it's just all this input and action and stuff. So I was really depressed. And this kid went by on a skateboard, and that was Sam Smotherman, and he lived just down the block. And their family was so cool. And their dad, they were all really Christian, but the most adorable, wonderful version of that. And if everybody were like that, you wouldn't have any negative. attachments to that. They would sit around. Like Sam got really sick as a kid, like some disease. Then he got really wounded in a car accident, and there was all this like they went through a lot of family crisis, and they would sit down as a unit. And they would just talk it out, and they would like if it came down to it, the father would just say, well, it says in the book of James or whatever, and they like not like in a pedantic or pedagogical or like preachery way. And I just sat there watching it, and it was just like, this is marvelous.
And then the cherries would come to the table.
Well, I hung out there so often. I still have dreams where I am like knocking on Sam Smotherman's door from from when I was 13 or 12, but that kitchen. And that, like, one day I hung out there so much, there was a bowl of cherries out there, and I took one, and they all started sniggering. And I was like, what's the joke? And they're like, it makes the Smotherman's fart.
It makes the Smotherman's fart.
Now, do you like them?
No, the Smothermans are fine now. I was picturing them more like white trash, like they drank antifreeze, and like one of them like huffed himself to death in the basement, but he was still kind of half alive in the hospital, and like they would like in order to make their cars go faster, they would spit into the air scoop. Spencer, are you
how did they reach the air scoop from there?
They climb out into the hood.
Okay.
This is assuming someone else is driving.
Yeah, of course.
And you're trying to catch somebody to keep them from taking all the
Does that work?
petrol.
Is that actually a thing? Are there car people here did we know that works? Spitting fuel into the air scoopy thing.
Wait, what?
Do we know that actually works? Like Mad Max?
I don't know.
Anybody here? We're not a car crowd. Yeah.
I mean, what are you even asking?
In Mad Max, when they go out in the thing and they're sucking fuel out of a hose and they're spitting it into the intake valves on the hoods of the car, and the car gets like super boosted and goes really fast.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm sure that works perfectly.
That doesn't work. It would flood the engine.
What if it was like crazy Mad Max cars, though? Okay.
I mean, you mean it would flood the engine eventually?
Damn.
Like that's why they didn't design the cars to just have a guy spitting like tape to the front of the car, because that would have been impractical. But they're like, this is life or death.
They could have just invented a little hose where you just like a little squirt bottle. You could just like.
But then they'd overuse it. Those guys are nuts. Those little, they're anemic guys covered in tumors. They're spray painting their war boys. What are they? War boys. Those guys are crazy. Yeah. They have no impulse control. You can't give them a hose and say only do this when you really need it. Your whole society is founded on their feral ferocity. You can't then just ask them to do something in moderation. How dare you? So after like 70 years in the making, like we finally closed the deal. We're going to actually start shooting Harmon Quest.
Yeah. Are we going to do new characters? Same characters?
I think we're gonna kind of restart from the ground up.
Yeah, I think it'll basically be the same. Maybe a few tweaks here or there.
Because it's actually going to be a fancier version of it than we originally planned. Because people got excited about it. And now we're gonna tape 10 episodes, and it's going to be on some tiny or experimental. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say, but it'll be out on some platform that you'll be able to find or something. It may or may not play in Canada. I don't know. I have no idea how that shit's going to work. But it's not Yahoo. It's something else. But we're going to do 10 episodes, so certainly they'll exist.
That's so awesome! I can't wait.
And we'll have tapings and stuff, and we'll make sure you guys know where to go. So that'll be like in September, so you can come and watch us. We'll get the old celebrity guests to come and play with us, and then we're going to animate.
Have you picked your dream team yet, or that's probably too soon to talk about that?
I think it's just going to 5 episodes with Vince Vaughn, and then 3 with Colin Farrell. Did you notice that our little dog Nigel? Do you think he looks like Colin Farrell? He looks a lot like Colin Farrell. He does. I don't know if Aaron's like Instagrammed it yet, like with a split screen, but he looks.
I think I see where you're going. Yeah, I could imagine that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I like Nigel more than Colin Farrell, though.
What do you think the show's been like a 5.5
Yeah.
out of 20?
I call it a solid 5.5.
Solid 5. That's no good. What do we got to do to make it memorable and extreme?
Extreme?
Well, maybe not. I mean, not like racist extreme.
I got 2 words. Butt chugging.
What if
We could be the first podcast of butt chug to live stream a pina colada butt chug.
Somebody did come up and was like, "I'll butt chug," and then they died, and that was just it. Like everything in your whole life was leading up to that.
Can we generate some sort of waiver that they sign their life away?
It still wouldn't matter. It'd still be the podcast that killed a guy by pouring Jack Daniels in his butt. Like it would, or girl.
Why don't we start off with butt chugging something nutritive, like just a big we'll fill a bottle of Jack Daniels with like Pedialyte or something like that that won't kill you. That's still butt chugging, right?
What if we brought up a guy, stood him on his hands, poured Pedialyte down his butt, and he became like a senator. Or like an astronaut or something. Like he became like we found out that's what you have to do.
I think there's only one way to find out. Who here? There's people that volunteer to go to Mars and never come back. I think somebody is willing to take that chance.
I mean, we'd need a funnel. We'd need Pedialyte.
Yeah. Okay, we can't afford that.
Yeah. Well, we're not.
The overhead's too extreme.
I don't know if you're seriously thinking about it right now. I just honestly like.
I like that you're getting logistical about this, which means you're actually.
I do know that there would be someone in the audience that would
there
be
like,
willing.
Should we build like a little stand or like
yes.
gravity boots with their heels click?
Yeah.
Widen them out. What would you wear? That's another thing. What do you have somebody wear? Just nothing? Or do you make them like chaff? I guess, right? Chaff, but like on the side it's sponsored by Nike and Reebok or something like that.
Well, wouldn't it just be regular pants with just like a little hole for the butthole?
The women were unanimous on chaps on that one.
That's women's solution to everything. Like they just like chaps. I would say I need to understand the context. Do you mean if we're doing this 6 weeks from now, what kind of equipment would we have NASA build for us?
Do we just hold the guy's legs in the air and do it like really like?
I mean, that's what the cavemen did.
I'm saying we're putting. You spend a lot of money on this live streaming. I say we put on a David Copperfield kind of show. Like a white tiger comes out.
Dan, you already have an inversion table, right? So we just you turn them stomach down on it, and then you invert them.
Yeah,
and you're ready to go.
Can you start it off like the guy that gets chained into the thing in Temple of Doom, and he's like,
yeah, that's exactly what the inversion table is. Yeah, that's what the inversion table is. And there's gravity boots. They hook over. Yeah, we could just bring that in. Okay. And
you dress up like Malaram, and we do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you have the Pedialyte thing, and it's like a beating heart or Shankara stone or whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
And we got to have like lawyers like clear the paperwork and stuff.
That's the easy part, Dan.
The person could like die or become a senator. So and the inversion table can be dedicated to that because I'm going to the chiropractor 3 times a week now. That was the only last thing that's new for me.
So that thing's just going to waste.
Yeah, my back's all fucked up, Jeff. Okay.
Are you in pain currently, like as we speak?
I'm all right now, right at the moment. But if I sit for more than 20 minutes and then I get up, it's like, ow.
Sitting's the new smoking. I gotta say,
sitting's the new smoking. Yeah. But as the guy is like adjusting my back, I think I'm having like a Kundalini awakening or something. Like I think he was talking all this. Chiropractors are like that's my chiropractor. They're kind of knuckleheads. They're not real doctors, and they always have to like. They kind of have to like. They feel like they feel compelled to like add extra stuff to the chiropractic stuff because it makes them feel. More than a back cracker, like they have to be like. Also, this helps cure the cold, and you should bring your baby in, and it's like, nah, come on, quit being a crazy person, like just crack my back. But so I'm going to one of these guys, but now I'm like, at this point, the only thing I can do from here is back surgery, which I don't want to do. So I'm just for the next year, I'm just going to commit to whatever this guy says, and he's like, don't sit for more than a half hour at a time. Jesus Christ. And he's got a little jackhammer device that he's using to hammer my vertebrae. And I'm going in there 3 times a week. But then I'll be like walking around my house and then I'll start crying for no reason. So I think maybe some of the stuff he's like saying is like not total bullshit. I thought it was because it's like, so you know, like a chiropractor, you go in and they go, where does it hurt? And you go, right here. And they go, okay, look at the chart. This is. I don't know why I said this has happened to me several times, but this is what the guy did recently. This is exactly what happened. Like Monday, I go in. Where does it hurt? Right here. So he holds up this cartoon of a back, and then there's like next to each vertebrae, there's like this list of shit. And they're kind of like horoscopes. It's like it says like L1 vertebrae. You're outgoing, but a little withdrawn. You know. Except instead of that, it says like organ function, kidney function, kidney with a little bit of organ. You know, and it's like kind of like not that scientific. But so he's like, oh, look at this. It says like it says erectile dysfunction, bowel. Do you have any problems with your bowels? And I said, well, I mean, I don't like taking shits. I mean, I don't look forward to them. They're not. I don't like high five myself after I shit.
It's not really a problem with your bowel function, though.
Right. So, and he goes, and I go, and hey, who doesn't want more hard-ons? And he goes, So anyways, and then crack my back, okay? So then the next time I go in, he goes like, so I put together a full report, and he's like showing me all this stuff. And then he's going, so remember those bowel problems and erectile dysfunctions that you talked about? Well, guess what vertebrae that correlates to? And look where your pain is. I'm like, dude, I told you all that. What? You can't. Cornball.
The mentalist.
It's like a carnival trick or something. But I don't think it's intentional. He's just not a doctor. Like I took off my shirt and he's like, oh, you have open sores all over your back. I'm like, it's acne. Like I have acne on my back. He's like, yeah, but that's not acne. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's gross acne. Like, have you ever had acne on your back? No. Well, just quit bullying me. Like, I don't have open sores on my back. He's like, oh, do you scratch? I was like, yeah, look at my back. It's covered in fucking Ron Jeremy hair. Like, yes, I'm scratching my back. Oh, you're but then he was talking about like, yeah, and there's like, I think that you know that sarcoidosis thing you told me about, you know, that and those open sores and stuff, and I'm like, what does sarcoidosis have to do with open? What do you talk? Stop calling them open sores. They're zits. Like you're making me feel really bad. And he's like, well, you know, but you know, they're sores, you know, and you when you have something outside your body, you know that inside your body, you have the same thing. You saying I have acne on my spleen? Like will you just crack my back? You're not a doctor. This is crazy talk. You could really upset somebody, and like you're making me feel like this is why I don't go swimming.
This is the same guy you still go to?
Yeah, but he's not like he's not doing it on purpose. Like he just doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Like he does know backs. He does know like the nervous system. Like and as my back is getting adjusted, like I feel like my memory's improving. Like kind of. I
think we were talking about this the other day.
And I would start weeping. I was walking around my house. I just started crying for no reason. Absolutely no reason.
I got a massage with this, a friend gave me a birth certificate. Jesus Christ! My friend gave me a birth certificate.
What'd you do?
I'm a father. A gift certificate to Burke Williams Spa. Like, if you go to Burke Williams, that's a spa where like I don't expect to go like find magical healing there. It's more of just relaxation. And I love massages. I like deep tissue. I want it to hurt. Like I want a massage to be like a street fight. I want to come out. I want to whimper the whole time and just be like just bruised and battered. And so I got this woman named Carmen who's no longer there, which is sad because she instantly, like the moment she put her hands on Carmen, and she was like this kind of short, squat, like fit, like Latina woman, and she was very quiet and stuff like that. And she's like, "Where does it hurt?" I said, "I've always got stuff in my right shoulder." And she's all right. So she starts working everywhere else, and I was like, well, "I wonder if she's ever going to get there." And she's like, "Just so you know, this is where you're feeling it starts here." And I was like, "Gah!" Like she just touched me like on my collarbone, and I instantly like almost came to pieces, like in pain. And she goes, "Just so you know," I said, "Well, we're not going to start there. We're going to do this and that." And she goes, "It also goes all the way down your sciatic nerve, which is like your butt cheeks." And she was kneading on my right butt cheek, and she goes, "By the way, you're going to start crying, and not from pain. She goes, you're very emotional, and you hide it all right here." She goes,
in your butt.
She goes, we all. She goes. She goes, we all hide a lot of sadness in our butts. So she does it, and she's like, Jeff, she goes, you're not going to let like all that sadness go right now, but you're like but I sat there, and I was just sobbing, like completely. She's like, just try and let as much of that sadness out. Like also, you need to come and get a lot more massages. Like, fuck yeah, I do. But it's really weepy and emotional.
I never saw myself as like this whole like stress guy, but I clearly am. Like that whole respiratory alkalosis thing was just ridiculous. It was just such a stupid thing. And then this back thing, like it's just like it's very clear. Like I've been like under a lot of like I just like don't deal with my stress at all.
Yeah, I told somebody a long time ago because I have all these like what they call like knots and scar tissue. Pardon me, in my shoulders.
What's that character?
Frog in the throat. My name is Dr. Frog in the throat.
Scar tissue.
Oh, it's just Carnival Carl.
Are you cough shaming me right now?
I'm just trying. I'm self shaming about how uneventful the show's been. I'm like, wait, is that a character?
I went back and listened to the whole Ty Brixton thing. I was on the ride here crying, laughing.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't rub it in. Like, look at tonight. Tonight's been awful. It's been terrible.
It's it's summertime. It's hot. We're never gonna.
So fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I ate so many tacos, and I just sat in my own farts all day, and played a video game, which is I should never do that on Sunday.
Are you farting like on stage?
No, I'm clenching and clenching it in.
When you walk off the stage, you're just gonna like.
No, I've learned to. I can hold a fart real good.
Yeah.
I do it until it finally. Then there's that point where it reverse farts up into your lungs.
I don't think
you guys know what I'm talking about.
I don't think Ryan Stiles would mind me mentioning this. Ryan Stiles cannot burp, but he can fart on command. I go, Jeff. He's never been able to burp, but he goes, I can always give you a fart, and they never smell. He'll come up to me and goes, Jeff, give me a number. I go, 11, and he goes, and he'll fucking give you 11. Perfect little like equal farts. Also, when he travels on a plane, everywhere we go, so I travel with this guy all the time. He always has an extra pair of pants in his bag on his carry-on, in case he shits his pants. and you know, he's 53. I don't know what he is, like something like around there. I said, "Have you, in your life, have you ever shit your pants?" He goes, "No, but I don't want the first time to be on a plane." Hey, so everywhere he goes, he's got an extra pair of Ryan Stiles pants on.
Does it take a different? Does it take a special scale when you choose the?
Are you chain singing
the
right
grain
now?
size?
Pardon?
Does it take? Do you need a different scale for each size of grain?
I guess so. Yeah.
When you're picking the kind of rice that you're going to have thrown at your wedding to Ryan Stiles. I mean, who is this guy? Some kind of Dan Harmon replacement.
You're jealous again. You were jealous of the Smothermans. You're jealous of Ryan Stiles.
Oh, he farts so much. Oh, he farts all the time. Oh, and he carries a special pair of pants because he poops his pants too. What am I, chopped liver?
You're so jealous right now.
Yeah.
Dan, I'm here every Sunday with you because I love you more. And I do it for free. I get paid to go out with Ryan. I do this for free out of the love that I feel for you.
Well, this is really awkward for me because I made love to the redhead in the lighthouse. So I can't reciprocate, and I feel bad.
Oh, it's okay.
And
you're gonna miss like 40 minutes of the video game.
Hey, Spencer.
Hey, Dan.
Did you guys watch him deflect that fucking shit? Did you see the jiu-jitsu Matrix backbend bullet fly over his head? I remember the first time I hugged you, you looked like you wanted to shrivel up and die. You're more of a hugger now than you were. You're still not really a hugger. Dan, let me love you.
I love everybody.
The giant pina colada makes this whole thing so sad. It's such
I don't want a hug.
How did your chiropractor feel about you carrying around giant drinks that heavy?
I always like every time someone dies, Rob always we already talked about that, right? Like,
I don't remember.
Rob's always like, "Hey man, take care of yourself." I'm like, "Come on, quit making me feel like." He sent me a he texted me like a animated GIF of like how the human heart works or something, but it wasn't like heart like love. It was like valves and stuff. And it was like, I hope you're taking care of yourself or something. Like, it was like, are you just calling me fat?
I saw that text message. Was that a group text or what? Because I saw that.
Was that after Harris died?
It was also after Robin Williams died and after Harris died. After every time someone dies, Rob makes me feel like he puts me in the same category as people who died because I'm gonna die next, and he wants me to not die next. So and he thinks that it's as simple as telling me not to, which it wouldn't be. Like, I'm not gonna take a poll before I die. Who doesn't want me to die? Okay, got it. Just checking. Like I thought everyone wanted me to die. But also, like, it's like, I can't tell. Are you saying I'm fat? Are you saying I should work out? Or are you saying, like, you're worried about me mentally? But in either case, can't you just be nice to me? Why do you have to? That makes me. Wouldn't that make you feel bad if people were like, "Hey man, you okay?" You'd be like, "Well, what's wrong with me? Why are you looking at me like that?" You know?
I get it.
It's weird.
Does he never?
Like,
does he not reach out, like, personally and like have? But also, I mean, I don't know what the impulse is there, but to come and throw my arms around you and hug you and tell you I love you would make you very uncomfortable, which might make people less inclined to come at you in that direct way, and maybe you have to start making heart gifs and stuff. Maybe. I mean, there's probably a happy medium somewhere in between.
Did you know the correct pronunciation is GIF?
Damn.
Did you know it's when people say that's not my forte, it's supposed to be fort.
Yep.
Did you know it's not chomping at the bit? It's supposed to be champing at the bit. No,
But here's the thing. He just took that guy's concept and reiterated it. It's not original or daring, really.
You're saying he recycled a heckle from behind him?
Yes. I mean, essentially... okay.
Well,
he didn't hear it.
I didn't really take it as a slam. I thought it was like, man, this shit's getting exciting.
Wait...
This isn't still boring news, is it?
I think he knew it'd be funny to say is this still boring, because we really went down a road.
Because the last guy demonstrated it worked.
Yeah, and I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to stand up here and shit the bed and then get mad at people for talking.
I will.
Somebody is anybody in the audience feeling particularly passionate about anything at all tonight? Like. Well, I mean, it's not a yes or no question. I mean, it is if you want to come up and talk about it. Does anybody feel strongly enough? Is that Dave Klein? Oh, we should have added Dave Klein on. Dave Klein.
Glitchy rap. Glitch rap.
Sit there for the cameras.
What's up?
Yo, I can tell by the lack of the audience reply that I wasn't requested, but my boy Dan, he denied that he was ready to go solo against this motherfucker that said he's Han Solo, ready to get into the fucking carbon night. I'm saying it's his night. I'm saying he's getting ready to fight. I'm saying his dick is harder than a fucking rock. He's talking about motherfucking my dick don't work. He's saying, yo, my dick's working in the industry for longer than you've been alive, motherfucker.
All right.
So Dave, how you been?
All right. So it's been a long time since I've been here. I want to give a shout out to Colorado. My secondary home. I want to give a shout out to New Jersey, my home that I love. but that I left because I heard Dan Harmon speaking from his chest and his heart. I met this guy that you guys won't know at the bar after the night, and I'm going to drop some shit he don't want me to drop. Guy is operating on a level that you're not ready for. And I can only let a beautiful man like this sit on my lap because he knows what I'm talking about. Here's what happened. I went to Denver after I saw these guys because I saw bad shit in LA. I'm from Jersey and New York, and I've seen some weird and bad shit.
What'd you see? What did you see?
My friend lost his heart and he's not with us anymore.
Damn. You saw that happen?
I live an interesting life, and we'll talk about it another time. But I want to give a shout out.
What do you mean he lost his heart?
Like it stopped?
It stopped? He had a heart attack?
I have a friend who is a really wonderful and creative individual out here who lost his heart and committed suicide. But you asked me, and I didn't want to get there. I was trying to bounce around that. But that's the truth of it. And I've seen it happen too often. And when you said, your boy sends you the thing with the GIF, and then he says something really prescient, like maybe they couldn't address you really clearly. We've talked about this on the show. I'll cut it right to this. Why are we all here? This guy. Why are we all here? These podcasts. Why are we here on a quiet night when we're not sure and the show isn't ripping it on 700 levels that we're used to it ripping on? Like when they were at fucking San Diego, when they were ripping it squatchy, when they were ripping it on 700 different levels, and we have a down night and we're wait, what's going on tonight? It's that there's 200 people in a basement in LA. And we love each other so much that a lot of us actually show up to hang out on weeks when this doesn't even happen. That I have friends in LA because of you. And the people that choose to show up to a thing like this because you're honest. And you come up to a thing not with your degenerate alcoholic, swank thing. I see that a lot where I live. You come up here with the thing your wife made you because she loves you and she knows you and she was taking care of you when your back hurt and you're a good guy playing Witcher, staying true to that wife.
So you to be clear though, you agree this is not one of our best episodes.
This is a bad no. To be really clear and pseudo self-deprecating. If Dave Klein's appearing on the show, we hit a pothole. We're trying to fix it, or whatever, or you're just being really generous to a guy that I swear to you, I'm not here for fame. I swear to you, I didn't move to LA to get on the mic. I came to LA because I fucking loved this guy, and that everyone I knew that I cared about gave a lot of shits about what he makes, and then all the rest of the people I didn't give a shit about cared about what Jeff makes. No, I'm kidding.
I can take it.
Everyone I know, from Greg Proops to the rest of the fucking crew that you roll with, to the fucking crew that you roll with, to the community you created.
Wait, who's that character?
No.
Come on, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
The character that he created is us. And the joke is on everyone who isn't here tonight.
Oh, shit.
That everyone...
You hear that?
No, really. And I love you all.
That's right, Mean Gene. And then I'm going to break his little neck.
I love everyone. And there's a strange thing, even looking out, and you don't see that there's some interesting paper, whatever. There's a crew here that's so beautiful and is so inspiring that on the lull shows that we call them, or whatever. You know what, man? Those are my favorite ones because it's... I'll quote Tarantino. He says there's a genre of movie called a hangout movie. I just saw on Magic Mike XXL, everybody see it, instantly. It was an ultimate mandate with my bro friend, and God, I loved it. But this podcast is on the level of Rio Grande, Magic Mike XXL.
And Land Before Time.
And Land Before Time. And it's the hangout thing that why we come here, and even on the lull shows, even when you're in a hypoglycemic pseudo coma and you're popping on that gorgeous thing like you are from that beautiful woman you married and swindled into loving you forever. No. We're here because we love you, and maybe I'm just here to just say fucking never give up. Fucking never stop doing this. And my name is Dave fucking Klein. I'm dropping the mic.
Dave Klein! Let's bring out DeMarge Brown. DeMarge, you here? You know, Dave, what I love about you, the things are manifold, but I love that you know how to make an entrance and how to make an exit, because that's always a valuable currency.
Yeah, any equity that was withdrawn or deposited at all, in the end, none of it matters because he
evaporates like a Scottish
he's
mist.
like the little train that comes through Mr. Rogers' living room.
He's like a winger speech personified.
I kind of feel like I'm a visual thinker. Like my image of him, the image of him is the little fire extinguisher inside the glass that says "break in case of emergency," and then on the fire extinguisher it says "Yep." He's a very positive guy.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that it was kind of a disservice to him that it was a low energy show, and then he would come up because it was like actually, it might have been better to have somebody just come up and go like, I'm gonna get a divorce, and we'd be like, why? And she's like, because of 9/11, and then we'd be like, holy shit, and she'd start crying, and I don't know why I made it a woman so it could be emotional, but. And then we would have won a Casty.
The prestigious podcast award,
which is what?
It's a podcasting award.
Ah, gotcha.
I made it up.
There we go.
What's up, DeMarge?
Same old. I can't follow that. That's, Jesus Christ. I feel like femurs.
Dan, here's a. Bulldozers.
Jesus Christ. It's a Fujita scale 5.
Here's my pitch, Dan. Before we say don't do cheat day on Sundays because you're overly fed or whatever and sluggish, why don't we try different, like all Indian food or like
all Indian food? Well, I was gonna say maybe I could double my Adderall dosage on Sundays.
Rob Schraub's going to double his Jif dosage on you.
Well,
what do you
how much?
think?
What's left in the tank?
You got to try that, DeMarge.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God! Don't look at it. Just try it.
Oh, do you want to try some?
Spencer, did you try?
No.
Spencer's not a real alcohol guy.
No, it makes me sick. I get my joints start to ache.
DeMarge, butt chug it. Butt chug it.
Careful, it'll spill on your. Oh wow! All right.
The suspense is killing us.
It's the coldest thing in the room. It's delicious. That's great. That's fantastic.
You're not a video game guy, are you?
If it's like sports video games, fighters and stuff.
Sports.
People are disappointed.
I just kept my damn mouth shut.
If my mind was sharper, I could come up with a great analogy for like sports video games is like, and in the punchline, I have to throw it to a room though.
Well, what were you going to say? Let's say I was a video game guy. What were you?
Oh, I don't know. I was going to ask if you've been playing Witcher 3.
Oh yes, absolutely. I have been. I just got through the thorns, the thorn level. No, I haven't.
They're tricky.
Yeah.
Are there any female gamers here that don't play sports video games? Are you playing Witcher 3?
Are there any here who do?
No. Any women playing Witcher 3 in the audience? Young ladies?
What game are you playing?
Beyond Two Souls. Oh, I played that. That's kind of fun. That's the one with Juno and
Ellen Page. Ellen Page is in a game.
Yeah, Juno. Yeah. Did you play? Would you want to come up and so we can I talk to you about video games for a second, and then you can play Shadowrun with us.
Oh, it's so bright up here.
Yeah, it's hot. Like
it's fucking
it'll
hot.
make you feel.
Whoa.
In a second, you'll be sweating, and you'll be like, "What kind of horrible monster am I?" You're not. You're just a French fry. It's not you. It's the lights and it's the heat.
What's your name?
Emily.
Hello, Emily.
Hello.
Welcome to Harmontown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you play Heavy Rain?
Oh,
or Hard
God.
Rain or Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain.
Yes, with the origami killer.
But that compared to those are the same people that
I
made,
agree. No,
Yeah.
Heavy Rain was much better.
like they figured
than-
out how to. They made leaps
Yeah.
and bounds
Yes.
with that video game style.
Yes, and I think that's why Quantic Dream is so good, is because it's like an interactive movie.
Mm-hmm.
And but Beyond Two Souls is like, I was not expecting it to be so scary.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. It's basically, if nobody knows what this game is about, it's basically Ellen Page is recreated as Jodie, and she is this character who has this entity that is attached to her. And basically, it's the whole time, like, all these people are trying to control her and make her do all these things that she doesn't want to do, and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it ends up being like...
No, come
Yeah.
on.
This is wait.
Oh,
This is.
I thought
is
you were
this
going to spoil it.
A French. This French company made this, right? Is this the game?
French company?
I hung
It
out
might
with
be
her
French.
for a while, and she was in town, and she was making a game. She was in France, though. I think.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Willem
weird.
Dafoe's in it.
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah,
Is that
William-
that's
yeah.
what she was making
Yeah.
for all that time. Okay.
And it's weird how Willem Dafoe looks as a CG person.
Yeah, he. I thought he looked like a cartoon in person, and then it was like, wow, he actually looks better as a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a weird effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Video games are getting more immersive, Jeff. Can you guys handle that with your soccer?
Yeah, you got to be careful, Demorge. If we start,
I'll keep my mouth
if you
shut.
and I
Hey.
share our love of anything right now, Dan's
I did
in a
an
very
hour and a half podcast
vulnerable.
before this.
Dan,
All
you're in a
about
very vulnerable, jealous, kind of emotionally precarious place right now.
Because I've been for the last 30 minutes, I've been holding in farts, and now, as of my last sip of pina colada, now I'm also holding down vomit.
No, it's so funny because I actually.
So I'm like a Chinese finger trap. No,
You look at me.
I'm the opposite of a Chinese. I'm like a water balloon with that's untied on two ends. No, I'm like a toothpaste tube in a vice grip with a cap on each end.
You're like a pipe bomb without the bits on the end to hold the stuff in. It's just all going to go out both sides.
I'm like. Maybe we should get Ryan Stiles in here. He
You're like
he
a
could probably.
donut.
I'm sure he could come up with.
he would. He'd come up with 20.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's a gifted. He wouldn't let the show fucking sink like it's fucking going down right now. Because he's a hard worker and he gets up here and if he has to skin a knee or chip a tooth to make these people laugh, he fucking does it.
We should bring cherries out.
No, the Smothermans aren't here. To us, they're just regular fruits. To the Smothermans, they're a treasure trove.
I hate cherries. Blech.
You eat cherries?
I do not like
Who does
cherries.
that? Not a
You
fan.
hate-
Like, I don't like the
It's the
fear
cherry
when I
season
have
right
a
now.
cherry.
What
I'm
do
like, fuck, I'm gonna break a tooth this time because you bite it and then the seed is so hard. And it's just
I hate pits. I hate it. I love olives, like marinated olives. And then sometimes you get them like, and then you're like, this better not have a pit in it.
I swear to God.
And then it has a
this
pit in
one-
it. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with this fucking rock in my mouth? And then you spit it into a napkin like an animal and like put it. Like, what are you supposed to do? Why do they have those
What I
things?
do is I swallow cherry pits.
What?
And then I swallow them all. And then when I poop them, there's people in New York that make very expensive coffee out of them. You can't even afford it. It's so expensive. It's called Jeff Davis Cherry Poop Coffee.
I swallow. Have you? I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but they say. I think this is an urban legend because it started from like urban living in like the 50s, and then it became like a big thing in the 70s. The idea that kids were eating cherry pits and they were pooping, and that in the sewers there's a whole population of like little George Washingtons.
Not cherry trees.
Well, there are cherry trees,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
obviously, yeah, little cherry trees. But then there's these little tiny George Washingtons. Yeah, chopping down the
Are they also telling lies?
Well, that's the ironic thing is that I think the whole story is a lie, but like in the story, no, none of them are lying about chopping down the trees.
Why in this day and age where our political culture is so bereft of intellect and leadership, aren't we cultivating this sewer full of George Washingtons?
Well, because he wasn't really a leader, you know. He was a warrior, and he's the leader our nation needed at that time in history. But the truth is, if you brought George Washington out now, first of all, he'd be tiny and covered in poop, and
His teeth are wood.
toothless.
Weird.
second of all, he's just, by all accounts, he was sort of a dum dum, and just sort of inspiring because he was courageous and a good general.
Could he do any worse?
Could he do any worse?
Could we do any worse? You're asking.
Like stick George.
Oh no, he couldn't. Yeah.
He might be like legit, like better than.
Oh yeah, I'm sure anybody from, if you went back in time and pulled anybody from back yonder with I'm sure there would be a couple scandalous remarks that would be like, no, that's now called anti-Semitism. Like they would be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm from 1921. But as far as their attitude about the role of government, I bet we'd be like, holy shit, this guy's like amazing.
Well, way back then, the office of the presidency was not a really prestigious job.
Yeah. So they'd be like they'd have that Ross Perot, Bernie Sanders,
Who would listen to him?
charm. No, they'd be the third party candidate that wasn't allowed in the debates because they'd be like, I don't understand why we're talking about this, and we'd be like, boo.
Did you just fart right now?
No, that was my mouth.
Are you asking? Was he covering a fire? Was that subterfuge?
I sometimes do that. Like I'll make a laugh really loud, and then I'll fart at the same time, and it's like, ha! I didn't know.
Truth be told,
Good about it.
Emily's been farting ever since she sat down up here. You guys, it's a maelstrom.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have much time. I wanted to actually might have been fruitful to ask Emily as an ambassador and a female gamer, like what if a game's really cool, but there's like, as with Witcher 3, where it's just like, wow, this is really cool, but it's like this fantasy game, and it's just like all of these sorceresses with the cleavage and the kind of like very like mythic gender roles. Like, does that throw the modern? I guess the answer is you don't speak for all women. Like some women are probably totally thrown by that.
See, I feel like yes, some women are thrown by that, and that's fine and whatever. But I'm just like, I love tits. Like I'm sorry. Like I feel like
It's a very bold stance.
It should be a thing that women we're given boobs. We should be happy, and you know what I mean. Like that's something we should use to our, it makes cosplaying fun and like all that kind of thing. I think that if we're gonna get all offended about it. I don't know. That's just me. I've always wanted to love my boobs, and I think every woman should.
Well, I think the counterpoint to that would be,
if a woman's going to be offended by it, then that's okay. You can be entitled to your own opinion. But me, I'm like, girl, rock the titties, love them.
Right. Well, I don't think the offense is coming from the exposure of them, as if it's like people who are like puritanical. I think there's a fine line, but it's like people that are like, well, there's an objectification happening when they're on display.
Yeah.
So if it reduces the person's role to a dehumanized role, so that they're simply a tray of dessert, and if they're not also saying E equals MC squared. I don't know. I'm mansplaining.
Yeah,
and white knighting and Chewbacca.
No, that's actually very. It's endearing.
Wimbledon and. I just felt compelled because it's like it's kind of a straw dog argument that it's like everybody likes boobs. I mean, I don't think any women are like, get these things off me. They're terrible, and no one. They're terrible, evil things, and we should never see them. I think any person who's coming down on the other side is more. It's coming more of the angle of like what the thoughts that we're putting in people's head about the role of.
No. I totally get where you're coming from, and I do think that there is something that is endearing about making a woman be sexy without showing the tits. Of course, like her ability to be a badass. Like what's an example of someone? Whenever I think of games, there's just like so many girls with big boobs.
Harriet Tubman,
like, everywhere.
She just farted again. Nobody's disagreeing up here. Yeah. I mean, I think that,
but it's not my job to agree or disagree.
Well,
I just sit there and fart and play the game.
The girl, she doesn't have that big of boobs, and I think she's hot.
No, that's the thing that I always find myself wondering as a guy when I always wonder on behalf of men. I always wonder, why do we even have to, like, because I always say, like, well, I used to say before things got so, I'm like, I used to joke to women, everything that you need to know about men you can learn from a men's prison. I mean, how is that a controversial statement at all? Like when you lock men in a building together and take away all of their wealth and all of their hegemony over society, it turns out that we don't have a lot of like super nuanced needs in order to get an erection or become violent, or like we are drones and we turn on each other and ourselves as quickly as we turn on anyone we're allowed to on the outside. So you take away the necktie and you take away the bank and you take away the skyscraper and you take away the history and the momentum, and you see how little men really need to objectify. You could give a female voice to a banana and the men would be like, I want to fuck that banana. Because they'll say it eventually about their cellmate, like they because we're just like biologically we're just kind of drones, like we're not. So I always wonder in my own head, I'm like, well, if the cleavage weren't there, like if that's really the issue, like, but it isn't. It's like if Mary Curie was like a character in a video game, it's even more so the whole Rule 34 thing would start applying. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I was like, when there's like a strumpet on parade and it's like she's all dolled up and she's like the cleavage is booming and the thing, and it's just like she just looks like she's designed for these thoughts to be thought about her. I'm always amused by the idea that it's like.
But is that the argument that overwhelmingly that's almost all of what you see in character or female gaming characters?
Yeah, I guess my thought about it is it's like
they're starting to go away from it though. They're starting to make it where like girls aren't, like the Hunger Games and things like that. Like girls becoming badasses, and yeah, they're hot, but like, it's more like, no, she's smart, and she acts like she's the one saving the dude because the dude's a dumbass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not all about and she's got a huge rack,
right?
And she's like the whole time,
right? And I think because those thoughts are like a lot. Like I draw an analogy between clothing and gender roles and language and race issues.
Yeah.
And, like the language is certainly a reflection. Like if all the video games are of women like looking like they're ready to go and they're not saying anything of value on top of that, like
right.
They have no agency and all that stuff. That's the clothing is a reflection, but I just as you can make genuine racist people use the most polite language in the world, and they might be even more racist than ever, you could totally like count on men to like be like the clothing is not. It's the snot of the cold. Like you can wipe it all you want. Like the virus is more dealt with when you're talking about characters that have agency and the Bechdel test and stuff like that. Like that stuff that actually gets to the heart of the matter. Like is the character, are people watching characters that happen to share physical characteristics with themselves? Are they getting trained to think that they hold a certain role in a dynamic? And the clothing is like so secondary to all of that. And whatever. There's no point to it. I'm not proposing that anything change. I'm just kind of amused by the idea that men would hump a concrete wall. Like we would not. We just don't. It's not like that's not where the war is being fought.
Yeah.
There's a lot of armpit fucking in prison.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. A lot of consensual armpit sex.
That's just good old fashioned human ingenuity.
Yeah.
That's so much less invasive.
The inventions I made when I was 12 years old. We've talked about that. Boy, oh boy. So glad those days are over.
Now you can use like real inventions. like that you can buy online, things like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to make sure my back stays somewhat out of whack because I don't want to. Now that I'm regaining my memory and bursting into tears, I'm worried that I might he might adjust something, and then I'll be like, oh.
Wow. I almost said cliffhanger and end of the show.
I just remember being 12 years old and like not being able to get through an episode of Inspector Gadget, like just let alone Mork and Mindy, let alone anything. Like I just like everything was like on fire, and it was like not a place to get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Girls were like that too. Like, well, I was, at least. I was like crazy. Like, my whole family was like that. Like, as soon as we went into puberty, I was like, what is happening? Like, oh my gosh, boobs and craziness and all that stuff. But it's just girls don't, yeah, like you said, girls don't like to talk about it as much.
Well,
but we definitely are the same way.
I know a lot of women, like friends of mine that I grew up with and friends I've met later that like started masturbating 100 years before I did. Like,
yeah,
before
I
guys
did like second grade.
But is it?
I know, insane, right?
Second grade?
Yeah, dude.
It happens earlier for girls.
Yeah, it's weird because we mature faster.
There's also a lot of accidental masturbating.
You don't need like.
No, okay, second grade.
There's no such thing as accidental masturbation.
Let me tell you, Jeff.
I'm gonna fuck your armpit so hard tonight, man.
He's doing it right now.
Also, girls do that.
Here we go. I'm gonna.
We started talking about this.
This next sentence brought to you by Pina Colada.
Yeah.
It's not a politically correct thing to say that girls do this or do that.
Just let it rip, Dan.
I've had a lot of girlfrielfriends. I've had a lot of conversations and I've noticed that girls have a lot of early memories of they practice with each other. They go they like not
no. I see.
Sorry, Emily farted again.
They practice kissing and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, yes, of course.
Guys don't do that much, but I've famously told that story of me being like 8 years old next to my buddy Ramstack, like humping a couch pillow. We're high fiving each other. We're like,
girls did it too. Yeah, like pillow, like this feels good. What's going on?
Dave Ramstack. That's the great. If you're gonna make out with your first guy, that's the guy.
It was Dan Ramstack. I don't know what his lawyer's name is, but. But he's probably watching. But
that's why I used the wrong name.
He was a great dry humper. He really let that pillow have it. But I mean, obviously the most important thing that people are always so shocked to learn is that if everybody's a little snowflake and it's all so incredibly different. It makes us comfortable to make observations like girls do this and guys do this by age 11 and by age 13 and girls do that. It was like, but like every conversation you have, it's like second grade, and then someone goes, but Jeff lost his virginity at like 32 or whatever. Like you were a late bloomer.
24.
And I was too. I was 22.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the masturbating and the coming and the.
As we're talking about this, I never really thought about this. Like when I came to your house and you had that consolidated folder of redheads from Playboy magazines to save space, and I was like, wow, you sure like your redheads. And you're like, oh shit, I never really thought about that. And they go, oh my, yes, I do. I'm looking back like. I don't know about for young girls, certainly not in second grade. Like for little boys, we find the Sears catalog or the anything that has a picture of a woman like with any measure of clothing on or none or whatever, or a face. Like it's a visual thing for me anyway. And I remember the most potent visual image that I saved this picture. It was Nadia Comaneci, the gymnast, like the gold medalist. Anatoly, was she Russian? Or where was Nadia Comaneci from?
Romania.
I don't know why.
Anatoly's like, why the fuck do you always... Again with this fucking shit. I don't know. Fuck you guys. Fucking...
But she had all of her clothes on, but she had short hair. And then later on, it's like Sid Charisse, Audrey Hepburn, Mia Farrow. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was like my first... moments of having like sexual visual like turn-ons was always like like thin, never va-va-voom, never like super curvy, like little wafy like girls with short hair and like why is that? It's so strange.
Well, why do men like long hair traditionally? We've all heard the joke, or maybe not joke, explanation of like, yeah, it's like cavemen like want to handle or something that's like looks like you're more controllable. But I think it's like the way cats like focus on things that move, like women wear earrings and stuff that like think shit's
shiny.
moving around. Like I think over time maybe that's like a thing that triggers men to like be fascinated. Like they're like just dogs or cats. They're just like you're shaking your head.
I don't think that's what, I think it's just everything that's attractive is a show of youth and health. And so when you get older, your hair's thinner, it's more brittle, and
got
it
it.
takes to have long hair, you have to be like young and fit.
If you can't hear in the back, I'm sure that's absolutely true because I just realized because we talked about makeup on the show and it's like makeup is like she said because it's young it's young girls have longer hair and as women get older their hair gets more brittle and unmanageable and they tend to go with the shorter stuff, and so yeah, everything is sort of all of our standards for female beauty are somehow rooted in puberty. Are somehow rooted at like rouge is just flushed cheeks and lipstick is flushed lips, and it's all basically you spend your life chasing this image of the most inappropriate thing in the world, which is a cusping biological female specimen.
All right, Spencer, I'm going to ask you the impossible right now.
Okay.
But I know that you're up to the task because you are a genius and a showman.
Okay.
Let's do the world's only one-liner shadow run where like we set it up.
Well, I don't want to know but I was pretty content once we could have skipped Shadowrun. But
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I figured once I got to be 10:05, I was like,
It's kind of past.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I was like, we're on a roll. We're talking about icky stuff.
All right,
Icky stuff.
Yeah, sex is icky.
Doesn't have to be, man.
How many ounces?
Marge, how old were you when you? When you had your first experience with your.
I was 5, and I went to the school on the bus.
But it starts early. It's something weird.
There was a kid on the bus who was older. He had just had. I went to this amazing school when I was a kid, and for his birthday, I think he was 10 or 11, 12 maybe. They had given him. His parents had given him a subscription to Playboy for his birthday. So this kid, I'd never seen this before, and the kid had a thing. He wasn't bringing it for show and tell, but it was just he had it, and he was bringing it to the school, and it was wrapped in paper, and he took it out, and he showed it to us, and I was like, what the hell is that? And we just went through it, and he explained the whole concept to me, and that's sort of what it was. And then later that week, I think, at dinner, my parents asked me about school. And then they asked me about my, the every day at dinner and stuff. And they asked me, like, your birthday's coming up, what do you want? And I asked for a subscription to Playboy. And my parents, in a very measured fashion, were like, a what? And I said, a subscription to Playboy. And they said, do you even know what that is? And I went through it, so clearly I knew. And they said, how did you? And so I told them the story I just told you, and they said, all right, well, we'll see what we can do. And then in my head, I think, just being my age now and imagining that them being their age at that time, they, for whatever reason, had to have waited until I left the room and just high-fived each other.
And then they get,
it's all right.
Just to save a little bit of money, they give you a subscription to Muff Diver.
Sherry or Cherry, what was it? I don't know. Some knockoff. They're like, we can't afford that.
Morgan Fairchild's on the cover.
Aaron texted
in
because she must be watching as we're talking to this area because you remember the episode where we did Labyrinth and she was talking about Labyrinth, but she's real like. That movie was like her. She was describing like being in the theater with her parents and watching Labyrinth, and at a certain point in that movie, like her physically like awakening, like her cheeks flushing, and like her nethers tingling, and like I call them the nethers because it's like appropriately
Minecraft.
mythical. Yeah, Minecraft. you go to the nether. There's like but she, yeah, I mean, that was like she can remember the actual like moment of like, oh my god, my body, and it does like literally happen overnight, like literally overnight, like puberty happens.
A friend of mine, Samantha, she was like 11 or 12, went to a Prince concert, and she told me, she's like, I was standing there watching Prince on stage, and she goes, and I had an orgasm. I wasn't touching myself, I just stood there, and she's like, I didn't know what was happening, but later on I would come to understand, it's like, that was the first time I came, but just by standing there watching this dude run around.
I definitely know I was watching Mork and Mindy. I was like I was watching Pam Dauber, and I was like, I think I could have been watching anything, because it was really more about like, I was like I would lay supine, is that what it's called? It's on your stomach. And I was like laying after school alone in my mom's apartment, and like, so, and I was just like watching Mork and Mindy, and it was just going like this, and I was like, and then I was just like kept doing it, and I was like, what the, oh my god, and nothing.
Get your GIFs ready, everybody. Get those GIFs ready.
and nothing. You know, I looked to see if anything had, because I was like, is that what I think that was? Nothing had happened, but it felt like something that you would want to do forever. So
Yep.
So and then from that moment until around 39, I pretty much was just like dedicated to making that feeling happen over and over again. And because I remember like that very week, or like within a few days, it was like I'm just going to keep doing this over and over again. And I remember being really excited that nothing was. I'm getting really graphic, but like, oh, let's stay safe and stop now. I remember being really stoked that nothing was coming out, because I thought I was like cheating the system, because I was like, I wasn't touching myself, which I had already had like shame loaded into my mind about, like that one day I was going to start touching myself, and that was, my mom would say like, it's going to be a natural thing. And it was like, ugh, like I don't want to think about my mom giving me permission to touch myself. And so I was like, I didn't touch myself. I just humped a pillow and thought about Pam Dauber. And then I had this amazing feeling. I'm like, I'm the king of the world. Like, and I would just like run home from school as fast as I could. All my friends would be like, don't you want to stay and talk about LL Cool J? No, I gotta go. I got some. Man, he's so dedicated to his schoolwork now. And I would just like lock the door and just like, yeah! And then slowly but surely, I remember it was just like starting with like one little drop coming out. I just remember like every successive like little.
Tonight on a very special Harmontown.
Just a tip.
But and I'm telling you, for those 11-year-olds listening, it's all downhill from there. Just keep doing that, and like don't involve other people. We have 8 billion too many, and just
doing that.
Just eat
Mork
cookies and
eat cookies and just
Watch Mork and Mindy.
All right. Well, we got to the bottom of some stuff, I think. Typically stuff that we've already gotten to the bottom of, I guess. But it's worth going there again sometimes.
I think it was a nice introspective. There's no losers in it.
Yeah.
We got to meet Emily, who's fantastic.
Thank you.
We got to. We got to show a good shot of vitamin D from Dave Klein, man. He's always.
Yeah. But you know, I've always had there's a problem with me. Is like I always like when I was a kid on the playground and people would pick on me, I would never cry. And then when the guy would come over and say, "Stop picking on him," I'd start bawling because I feel so ashamed of myself for needing to be stuck up for. And so when Dave came up and was like, "Come on, Hulkamaniacs, it's not that bad a show," I almost started crying. I was like, "It's terrible. It's that bad a show."
I say we end the show playing the Ty Brixton theme song while you body surf and fart all over the entire audience.
No.
Body surf and fart. No, body surf and fart.
Don't set me up for failure. You know that my back is hamburger.
No, but that's like, wouldn't that be therapeutic to be rolled gently through human hands?
You've obviously never had actual back problems in your life.
Well, how about some good old-fashioned butt chugging?
I mean,
It can't hurt, man.
Be a great way to end the show.
No one's. Who's gonna butt chug?
You're gonna butt
You.
chug.
How? How is that possible? Right.
Well,
that's not
too
chugging.
complicated. That's what butt
absorbing.
chugging really is.
Everyone does that. I did that before the show.
Everyone does that. I'm doing it right
Emily's
now.
on her second tampon.
Yeah, I'm like, keep them coming.
Aaron's like, end the show.
Yeah. Everybody, 5, 4, 3, 2, cliffhanger!
Come there.
Emily, everybody, please welcome her.
Thank you. And bring your scarf and shawl.
I love you, Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. Dave Klein, DeMarge Brown, Spencer Crittenden, I'm Jeff Davis. Your mayor, everybody at 1, go up and hug him and tell him you love him and make him all sad. Dan Harmon.
All I do is promote shows, all that I see. Please go to see Rob Schneider at the truck show. He was in Dukes of Hazzard, now he's nowhere to go. Because his car had a racist flag on it. I'm a little show promoter and I wear a bonnet.
It's like a little sad
It was
baby.
my mom's idea, she made me
Emily,
a
go.
baby.
Give Dan,
I
give
want to
Dan
fuck
a
her
nice-
or kill her or maybe.
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.
Feral Audio.